Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here in a live conversation with Gus Aguirre from 20 for 20 and Miriam Navichoc from Casa Flores Chicago and the community of San Juan La Laguna. And if you're joining us at another time, I really appreciate your kind of checking out what we're doing and having this conversation. And currently, Miriam is having a few technical difficulties, and we hope that she'll join us soon. But I would love to right now introduce you to Gus Aguirre, 20 for 20. And Gus, if you don't mind, just tell us a bit about yourself and a bit about your organization.
Sure. So I am originally from Argentina, but I've been out in the U.S. for the last 20 years. I'm married to a beautiful, beautiful woman. Her name is Elise, and I have a son. His name is Maximus. He's 9 years old. I'm a worship pastor for a church in Greeley, Colorado. And when I'm not doing that, I'm either coaching high school sports or just running or just pushing 20 for 20, which is a nonprofit that I started a few years ago to feed children in Latin America. We mainly in Argentina. That's where our hub is right now. And but we're hoping to expand through some of these projects and the things that we're doing in Guatemala and be able to help out more people. Simple as that.
Oh, that's great. Well, tell us a little bit about, I know I was there when you met Miriam when she was up in northern Colorado. Tell us a little bit about that connection and that friendship. So.
Yeah, so 20 for 20, one of the main thing that we focus on is education, is being able to not only provide kids with resources, food, things like that, but mainly the focus is to get them or help them to stay in school, to finish high school, to do everything possible for them to get an education. And when we met Miriam that night, she mentioned she did a presentation, and when she talked about San Juan de la Laguna and some of the things that they're doing over there and some of the things that they hope to do. And one of the things that they were hoping to do is provide some type of education program for our children. And so I just approached her after her presentation and chatted with her for a little bit and said, I don't know how we can do this, but I know that we should do this, that we should partner, that 20 for 20 should somehow help out and be able to connect with your community and provide, because what they're longing for is exactly what we're doing in Argentina. So, So, the conversation was, hey, maybe we can take the model and what we're doing in Argentina and duplicate that in Guatemala.
Yeah, that's wonderful. In the meantime, as Miriam and I continue to talk about the weaving cooperative that she organizes and runs, we talked about the broader community context of San Juan La Laguna. And like many communities, there's kind of an ongoing need to try to create some sustainable business and jobs for people that are not so dependent on tourism, which right now is just pretty much defunct around the world, actually. Yep. So as we kind of interacted about that, she came up with the idea of creating a hen house, an egg kind of initiative that would do some good things for San Juan La Laguna. So maybe between the two of us, since it seems it's Miriam, I'm not sure when she'll arrive, and we'll jump in with her when she does. But why don't you and I just kind of go through what we know about this project and how we might how it might benefit the community of San Juan La Laguna. So what is your recollection of at least the purpose behind this hen house?
Yeah, just like in the U.S., this pandemic has affected, people that make their money from it on a day-to-day, obviously in a much bigger scale, because in the U.S., I feel like, there's still a lot of resources, a lot of things that help that you can get. But in most of these Latin American countries, there is no such a thing as extra help or resources. And so for a lot of these people, what they make that day is what they have to live on. And so for a small community like San Juan de la Laguna, which depends so much on tourism right now being completely shut down, there is no income. There's no money coming in. And if tourists are not coming in, then they're not making a living. And so So the idea is to provide a way for them to create basically resources for themselves, and not just basically send them money and say, here's a little help, but more than anything, just give them a project that they could work with and help generate income.
Yeah, I think that is, you know, I mean, for people everywhere, the concept of how do we sustain some financial impact is always challenging, no matter where you are. And in many places, it's a very small, slow start, because you want it to be something that is genuine and authentic to the community, and is something that can continue on without like that's managed and dealt with within the context of the community. And so this idea for the hen house is really a good one, I think, because it'll what will happen is the opportunity for people to you know, build this like a small business. And so let's talk a little bit about the question of like, how will this egg business be sustained, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the details of it. So
I mean, just from the time that I had a chance to chat with Miriam, one of the things that that was so striking to me is the fact that these ladies her and the ladies that work with her in the co-op, they're just go-getters, man. They just they will get after it. They're super hard workers, and so I knew that if we provided the resources, if we helped give them the stuff that they need for the project to get going, to build it, and to, you know, I knew they would be able to sustain it. I knew that they would be able to, full confidence that they would be able to manage it and manage it well. So that was my you know, our impression and idea when we did this.
Okay. Oh, and wonderful. Now here's Miriam. Hola, Miriam.
Hola.
Hola. So Gus, we'll back up, but we'll backtrack a bit here. And Gus will be interpreting for Miriam today. And so we'll have questions to ask, and we'll probably go back actually through kind of what we talked about so far. But first of all, buenos días, Miriam. Feliz día.
Buenos días, hermano Brent.
Gracias.
Buenos días.
¿Cómo está?
Bien, gracias, hermano Gustavo. ¿Y usted?
Bien. Le vamos a hacer un par de preguntas y yo lo voy a traducir. Y yo le hago la pregunta y usted me contesta como quiera, y después seguimos a la pregunta siguiente.
Ok, perfecto, hermano.
So go ahead, Brent.
Go ahead.
No, you go. Good.
Okay, so yeah, why don't we'll backtrack a little bit. Gus and I kind of were talking through the project, but let's ask Miriam to kind of walk back through the questions of like why was this built. So let's start there.
La primera pregunta, Miriam, es ¿por qué se construyó el gallinero? O sea, ¿qué fue lo que inició el proyecto?
Exacto.
O la causa.
Sí, entiendo. El motivo de la construcción del gallinero es aportar un huevo fresco a la comunidad, no tener ese huevo que lleva tantos días como al mes, llega a nuestra comunidad, y también para tener un bajo costo, para ayudar a las mujeres amas de casa en su familia, de obtener un huevo con menos costo al de la tienda.
So in their experience, what the hen house will do is provide fresh eggs, because sometimes they have to wait for them to be imported. They'll also provide eggs at a low cost for the community for them to buy them.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Well, so let's take a next step to just like the idea is that it would be sustained as kind of a business. So how does Miriam see it being sustained in that way?
Como negocio, ¿usted cómo ve que se va a mantener? ¿Cómo ve que se va a sostener y que va a durar tiempo como negocio y como estableciendo el gallinero ahí en la comunidad?
Sí, bueno, como negocio, nuestra visión es mantener a largo plazo. pero en este momento estamos encontrando un pequeño obstáculo que nosotros, con la finalidad de vender a bajo precio, estamos dando a 50 centavos el huevo y el precio en las tiendas a quetzal, a un quetzal. Pero estamos haciendo sumas con el joven que cuida las gallinas, que probablemente nos va a hacer falta comida para las gallinas unos 2 meses, pero en unos 2 meses nosotros sentimos que vamos a recuperar y que ya podemos comprar con el dinero que va a ganar o las ganancias, ya puede comprar el concentrado, aunque aquí no va a haber tanta ganancia, sino que el huevo que se venda es el mismo que pueda comprarse para más alimento.
So what she's saying is basically that the sustainability is all about the price. They're able to sell the eggs at a lower price, which, depending on the quantity and the of eggs sold, that will determine how profitable the business will be. But as of right now, they're selling one egg is at 50 cents, like a half a quetzal. And at the store, they find it for 1 quetzal. And so, being cheaper, they're expecting to sell a lot more of them, which will allow them to buy more food for the chickens and keep feeding the chickens and just kind of create that circle of sustainability.
Oh, that's great. And just as a side note here, a quetzal, the current exchange rate compared to US dollars is about 7.5 or a little bit more to $1. So you'll have to do the math in your head, whoever's watching, because I'm not going to do it. But it's the price is accessible to people for sure, and that helps keep it going, right?
Yep.
So. Well, maybe let's just get into a little bit of detail about like the structure of the hen house. Like there was a great design put forth, and just a little more detail about like how many hens are there and how many eggs are laid per day and all that kind of thing at this point.
Miriam, si pueden, cuéntenos de la estructura. O sea, usted nos mandó un diseño y quedó muy lindo como el mismo gallinero cómo quedó. ¿Puede contar un poco de quién diseñó la estructura y de qué material se hizo y más o menos cómo está construido?
Así es. Pues la estructura fue diseñado por el albañil, que el albañil se llama Ismael Vividor, que él estuvo trabajando con dos muchachos más, hicieron todo esto. Les llevó casi 12 días para construir la casa de las gallinas. Y para mí también lo veo que es muy, muy bonito, la casa, muy cómodo para ellos, para las gallinas. Tienen un gran espacio para poder recrearse.
Mover, sí. So the albañil, which is the construction worker that built the place, he's the one that also designed it. And they're very pleased with the way that it turned out because it's very spacious, and so it allows the chickens to kind of roam around freely. Well, they have plenty of room to move and be comfortable as they lay eggs.
Well, and the hens themselves, as I've seen pictures, it looks like they're maybe Rhode Island red hens, which is, if you're familiar with hens, I guess that's important. But they're more of a kind of a purebred egg-laying variety of hen, and it does help them to have like obviously a structure that keeps them from just wandering off. And there's dangerous things in the community that could take care of them if they're not not protected. So. Right. That's a good thing. And I had another question about how many people worked to build the hen house. It looked like there was a crew that was involved. Like how many?
Miriam, ¿cuántas personas ayudaron a construir el gallinero?
¿Cómo? ¿Me puede repetir la pregunta?
¿Cuántas personas ayudaron a construir el gallinero?
En total fueron 3 personas.
Okay. There's total 3.
Oh, good. So like there were jobs that were created in the sense of, just the construction part of it. And it looks very well built. And if you want to see pictures of this, our Facebook page, Top of the Lake Coffee Roasters, we have pictures that we'll continue to post of the structure itself and of the hens. And we'll happy to share those with you at 20 for 20 as well, Gus, if you'd like.
Yep.
But Yeah, it's really a great structure. So let's talk a little bit now about like how are the eggs, or where are they sold? Like, how do they find the people that need it and things of that nature?
La siguiente pregunta es cómo se venden los huevos, cómo consiguen los clientes, si las personas vienen hacia el gallinero o usted tiene un lugar donde se venden.
¿Cómo se ha vendido los huevos? Las personas, algunos vecinos, donde tenemos el gallinero, algunas familias viven cerca, ellos lo compran y también nosotros ofrecemos a otras familias.
So mostly is the families around that live around the hen house. They just they walk over and basically buy eggs from them. But then it's word of mouth. They offer it to other families and just it goes from there. So word of mouth is how they sell most of them.
Ah, yeah, that's wonderful. Well, I know that Juan is the young man who right now is caring for the hens, and I believe he's present. I think I heard him there.
¿Está presente Juan?
Sí, aquí está Juan y él tiene mucho que contarnos porque él es la persona que ha tenido un 100% de vivencia con las gallinas y yo le he ayudado un poco, pero él es el que más, entonces él nos va a dar una breve experiencia.
Muy bien.
Aquí le presentamos a Juan.
Here, and he's the one that has had first-hand experience with all the hens and the chicken coops. So he's going to be able to tell us a lot more about it.
Okay, wonderful.
Buenos días.
Well, yeah, buenos días.
Hola. Sí, buenos días.
Buenos días. So yeah, go ahead. Let's see what Juan has to say about himself and his family, and then we can talk about
Juan,
the hens.
Cuéntenos un poco de usted y del gallinero, y yo lo voy a traducir mientras usted va hablando.
Primero de usted, habla un poco de ti,
de cómo es el proceso de todo, de cómo la alimentación de los pollos. Pues empiezo a las 8 de la mañana, llego ahí y como están cubridos con un hilo para que no entre la lluvia o el frío, pues yo llego ahí y lo levanto para que entre el sol y después entro a pesar lo que es el concentrado. Les doy 13 libras en la mañana y ya que en cada recipiente o comederos les doy pues 3 libras y medio en cada recipiente. Después les cambio el agua ya que
Permítame hasta ahí le voy a traducir. So he's saying that he gets there normally and able to the chickens the chicken coop is completely covered to protect it from the weather and from the rain and the cold, and so he gets there at 8 a.m. every morning. He's able to uncover the whole thing and basically let the sun in. Then he spends most of his morning preparing mixing the food for the chickens and then feeding the hens.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And currently, how many eggs does he collect each day?
¿Cuántos huevos más o menos se están colectando por día?
Son 92 en total los huevos.
About 90,
son 100 gallinas.
10 hens, and they're collecting about 90 eggs.
Oh, wow. So 10 kind of are at any given time, 10 are not laying. Is that right? I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch what he said, but.
So normalmente son 10 gallinas las que van poniendo huevo.
No, son 100 en total, como apenas el 1 de agosto empezaron a poner los huevos, ahorita apenas son 92, nos faltan 8 pollos que todavía no están en proceso de huevo.
Perdón. So yeah, sorry. So he was saying, there's 100 hens in the coop, and so right now there's 92 that are actually laying eggs.
Okay.
Out of the 100.
Okay.
Yeah,
and they're relatively young hens. I mean, they're just now kind of coming into maturity, from what I understand. So, well, that's terrific. Well, what's what's the most challenging part of what, working with that many hens? Like, it seems like that's an awful lot to care for. Like, what's the challenging part of that?
Juan, la pregunta es como usted trabaja con tantas gallinas, ¿cuál es la parte más difícil de su trabajo?
Pues, a ver. Pues, a ver. ¿No hay?
¿No?
No hay
No.
nada difícil entre ellos. No hay. Yo estoy acostumbrado a ir con las gallinas.
He said there's not really a challenging part. He really enjoys the work. He's used to it, so there's none of it is really challenging for him. So.
Oh, well, good. Yeah. Well, that's awfully nice. I mean, I wish most of our jobs were that way. That's terrific. Well, so will, from his opinion, will there be more would they want to breed more hens to increase the amount of eggs in the future, or about how long? And maybe that's one question. The other one is about how long will each hen, like how many years will they be able to produce eggs before they need to be replaced?
Entonces, dos preguntas, Juan. La primera es ¿cuántos años más o menos o cuánto tiempo una gallina es buena para poner huevos? O sea, después de cuánto tiempo se ponen más. Y
un año y medio.
So about a year and a half. So a hen will lay eggs for about a year and a half.
Oh, okay.
Y la segunda pregunta es ¿cuál es el plan? O sea, o cómo funciona con respecto a producir más gallinas para que pongan huevos mientras las otras se van poniendo más viejas y ya no pueden poner más.
Pues cuando estén envejeciendo podríamos comprar otras gallinas, así.
O sea, ya se compran más maduras, digamos, no es que se crean los pollitos.
No. Ya lista para poner.
Ya estaría lista para poner.
So he said that normally, as some of the hens are aging out, then they would buy just more, buy more that are already like they're ready to start laying eggs and not necessarily like breed them. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I know that actually these are kind of like more of a pure breed of hen, which are not just commonly available in the community. So maybe Miriam can answer this question, but like I don't recall, like how much approximately does a hen cost? Like a replacement hen, or to begin with, what does it take to buy one of these more high-end breeding hens?
Juan, la pregunta es, no sé si para usted o para Miriam, pero más o menos cuánto cuesta una gallina que ya esté lista para empezar a poner huevos.
La gallina nos costó 68 quetzales cada gallina.
So 68 quetzals a hen.
Okay. Yeah, which is, maybe $8 or something like that. I can't do math well in my head that quickly, but so they are like actually expensive in the realm of, like the everyday hen world. Yep. So and the feed actually, like what is the cost of the feed? Because I know that is also another relatively expensive item as well.
Y el costo más o menos, Miriam, el costo de la comida, más o menos cuánto sale.
El costo de la comida, pues, un momento, nos está costando el quintal, que son 100 libras, nos cuesta 169 quetzales.
So, 169 quetzal for a 100-pound bag.
Oh, okay. And approximately how much do the hens...
Y esto nos dura a 4 a 5 días para la comida.
And that will last about 4 to 5 days.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So the 100 hens,
so
yeah.
They eat a lot, which is good. Yeah, see. Well, So maybe, to kind of close out this, about the hen house, like Miriam, what kind of impact do you think over time do you hope to have with this hen house project, with this initiative and a new business?
Miriam, la última pregunta como para ir cerrando. ¿Usted cuál piensa que será el impacto, cuál piensa que será el efecto que va a tener el gallinero ahí en su comunidad?
Pues el impacto quizás va a ser por la cantidad de gallinas que son 100, tal vez sí va a impactar en la comunidad, pero no un 100%, sino que quizás va a impactar en unas 25% de las familias, que sí va a tener un impacto donde la mujer va a poder ahorrar un poco de dinero.
The hope is that even if it's not for the whole community, at least it's for a portion of the community to be able to, buy product at a more affordable price and save money and be able to afford more.
Yeah, that is wonderful. I'm grateful for Miriam. Clearly loves her community and the people that surround her, and she's been an amazing leader just to pull this together and get it going. There are a lot of details and a lot of people involved. So I just want to confirm how grateful I am for Miriam's hard work on this particular initiative.
Miriam, quería confirmar y decirle lo agradecido que estamos de su trabajo, de lo que usted, y de ver cómo usted ama su comunidad, usted trabaja tanto para ayudar a su comunidad, y la verdad que ver cómo lideró este proyecto y cómo se hizo cargo y lo bien que quedó es algo que nos orgullece mucho, nos alegra mucho y estamos muy orgullosos de usted.
Gracias, hermanos, a ustedes también. Yo les agradezco por el apoyo que están dando a través de la construcción del gallinero, de la compra de las gallinas, y esperemos en Dios que la ayuda de ustedes llegue a más personas de la comunidad a través de las ventas de huevos con Juan.
And I'd like to thank you guys for your support and for allowing us to, be able to do this. Our prayer is that this chicken coop will be able to be a blessing to our community and, to our families and in these difficult times.
Oh, yes. Well, we are grateful. And Juan, thank you for your work. Obviously, without Juan's involvement, it would not go anywhere. So, mucho gusto, Juan, and gracias por su trabajo.
Aquí están los huevos, ¿eh?
There's
man.
Look at that.
Wow. Yeah, man. That's a good product.
Yeah.
That looks a lot better than what we typically get in our grocery stores, I think. Wow. That is great. Man. Very pretty.
Estos son huevos del día de hoy.
Yes.
Recogió Juan en la mañana.
Wow.
Yeah, those are beautiful. Well, I think, now the next trick will be for Juan to name every one of the chickens, to give them a unique name, I think. So, well, thank you again, Miriam, for today and for your time and for your leadership. And thank you, Juan, for joining us as well.
Gracias, Miriam. Gracias, Juan, por su trabajo y por estar con nosotros hoy.
So, de nada, thank you. Un gusto.
Yes, and I just want to say very quickly that Top of the Lake Coffee, what we're doing is trying to sell coffee that gives back to the community of San Juan La Laguna. So when people purchase coffee, there's a portion of the margin goes into a fund that develops community projects like this, that we hope to establish jobs and support education. And then also 20 for 20 is an organization committed to much the same thing. And through Gus's leadership, there's been impact for education around the world. So anything to add to that, Gus, as we kind of complete our time?
This is it. We're super excited to be part of it. Super excited that, we're hoping and praying that this is our first step into, in Guatemala and helping out kids there. And so we're just super excited about it.
Yes. Well, very good. Well, please thank you, Miriam and Juan, for joining us today. And we will we'll go back to San Juan and Laguna for another live conversation at some point in the near future. Gus, thank you for your time and leadership and your skill at interpreting Spanish and English and all the good things. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Brent. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you.
Sure. Oh, definitely. Thank you. And we want to say goodbye. Thank you. They kind of disappeared for a moment. Juan, gracias, Juan, y gracias, Miriam.
De nada.
For today. Yeah. So, all right. Well, blessings on your day, everyone.
All right.
Bendiciones. All right. Bye-bye.